Yeah.
That's why you live like this? You don't want to be disappointed?
Yeah, what if you're like, oh, I'm gonna go make myself like a PB&J.
Oh my god.
And then you don't have any J.
2, 1. Well, I totally forgot how I introduce these. Wow, one podcast short and I completely forgot. What is up, guys? Welcome back to the currently untitled podcast. We apologize. We missed an episode on Thursday of last week. Unfortunately, I wiped our memory card that had that episode on it, and that is 100% my fault. And I only discovered it about 8 hours before the podcast was supposed to go live. So apologies, that is my fault. We're back. We're back in action, feeling great, feeling fine, divine. I don't...
Are we?
Yeah, it honestly sounds like I'm still doing the mic check. Like, this doesn't sound like I'm in podcast mode. What did you ask me as well as we were coming back inside the house? About twigs? You asked me something about twigs.
I was saying that I don't understand the concept of decorative twigs. It's so strange.
I don't know of decorative twigs.
Yeah, people like I need to filter myself here. Like in fancier decorated homes, people buy like giant vases.
Yeah.
And put
oh,
like white twigs
yes.
and stuff
Yeah.
in them.
We've even had that now that I think about it.
You're twig people.
I'm still trying to process myself who you were trying to filter out for.
I was gonna say, basic white people.
Oh, okay. And for the record,
But
Jessie is as white as it gets.
Yeah, and you might have taken offense to that because you're like, we're Italian.
Oh, but you didn't know that I used to decorate
No,
like
I
that.
didn't, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that I didn't say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would have been offended because Italians are olive. That is the rule. So we're still in quarantine, as everyone else is, and honestly, it's getting a little tense. Not super tense, but we had our first quarantine fight the other day. Mm-hmm. Like, it's, and I've been apologizing for 3.5 days, so, yeah.
I don't even know if that counts as, like, a fight. Does it count as fighting when you're like, it was my fault? No, it was my fault! No! I'm sorry! No, I'm sorry!
I guess it's not really a fight if we're both like, no, I'm in the wrong. Yeah, but quarantine's getting the best of us, so we're hopeful that this ends soon. It'll be weird for me when this is over because presumably you'll go back to living in your home, and that'll be weird for me.
Yes.
Yeah, that'll be weird for me not waking up to you and going to bed with you.
I know.
It'll be weird having to
now.
go pick you up again.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah. Like, obviously there are things that I miss about home because that's what was normal.
That's a natural
for me.
thing, yeah.
But I really do think it's going to be weird to go back to it after this much time.
Do you think if we moved in together permanently, you would still, like, miss home as much as you do right now?
Like, if you and I got a place?
Yeah.
No, because I think that with the planning that goes into that, you prepare more.
Right, this was more of a sudden move.
This was sudden, and I wasn't expecting to have to choose to stay at one or the other.
And at the time that you did choose, the choice wasn't being forced yet. Mm-hmm. You chose probably like a week before the world decided to end.
Right. It was before it was necessary.
Right. So it might even be feeling more of that for you because you've been doing it for an extra week, and I've been stuck in the house for an extra week because of when I had strep throat. But honestly, the days just blur together anyway at this point that I don't even remember. It honestly feels like that was a lifetime ago.
I know. It feels like it's been way longer than it has.
Right. Like 2020 feels like it's been 8 months.
Yeah.
I often forget that it's not August or September yet.
Yeah, like thinking back to before the quarantine started and everything, before even people were like worried about the virus, it feels like I'm like, oh yeah, back then.
Yeah.
But that wasn't that long ago.
Well, it's funny because I actually made fun of the people freaking out about it at first, and then at the time I was working for a place that like does a lot of business in China and whatnot, so I was like, oh, what if someone goes there and comes back? I was a little worried about bringing something home because of that. But then when you got strep in December, that whole process, I was legitimately worried that you might have it. And then I got strep in March, and I was like, oh, geez, like this is getting bad. But even then, it was like a stay home for 14 days kind of thing. And now it's like stay home indefinitely.
Yeah.
And it feels like those were two separate and distinct times. That was like 6 weeks ago that happened.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's nuts. And I actually think that I was more scared then because
than you are now.
Yeah. Only because there were no limitations. Like, I worry about essential workers, and like my dad is one, so I was really worried when he wasn't one of the ones asked to stay home. But at the same time, there's so many limitations put on everyone that he's not needing to interact with as many people.
Yeah.
I really feel for the people in customer service and in grocery stores being essential workers, and fast food chains or restaurants in general that still need to see people because they're the ones risking it as much as doctors. Like, and nurses and receptionists. I feel like that's an underappreciated role right now in hospitals.
Yeah.
But it's those people that I'm scared for. But, like the high school students working at Walmart to the like 60 plus people working at Walmart. Like, that's a broad range of people.
Yeah.
And then the young people working at Walmart or restaurants and whatnot, if they're living with their parents, like this is a weird time. I just am glad that limitations were set so that it's scary enough that not everyone is willing to like go to the grocery store. They'll have them delivered.
Yeah.
I just genuinely don't understand why it's not just a mandatory delivery at this point. Waive the fee and just allocate everyone to doing the delivery.
Yeah, that would make more sense to me.
Yeah. Than risking it. Because even the grocery stores here, the one I went to the other day to pick up a prescription for my mom, it was like you were limited to one entrance and exit, which seems like it's constricting traffic flow, which seems worse than...
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I can't understand why that would be acceptable. And then they have tape on the ground every 6 feet, kind of separating everyone apart from each other. Sorry about the ding. That was my phone. And like the pharmacists and cashiers all are separated by a plexiglass barrier. So at least there's some security for those people.
Right.
But this is just insane.
Yeah.
These are weird times.
This is not something that I think any of us thought we would ever live through.
Yeah, I think, jeez, I need to mute that because people are getting emotional. I think it's crazy that like our future children will one day be hearing about this, reading about this in textbooks.
Yeah.
This will be in the same textbook as 9/11, the 2008 recession, like everything that we lived through, this will be a part of it. That's bizarre to me.
Yeah, that's a very weird thought.
Like, kids nowadays have been learning about SARS in history books, and now this will also be taught. That's insane.
Yeah.
Our generation specifically have lived through so many historical events, it's kind of absurd. Like, now it's multiple recessions, terrorist attacks galore, multiple outbreaks of stuff between SARS and swine flu and West Nile and now this. Yeah. This is nuts. Anyone who tells us our generation isn't tough is crazy. We've been through a lot.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm really curious what the next generation of employees are going to be like.
Yeah.
Like, imagine the kids that have dealt with all the strikes, all the delays in their education, including this one, and what have they learned? They're not learning discipline during this time.
No, but you would hope if this doesn't go on for too much longer that everything will get back to normal quickly.
Yeah, but think about the kids, like, I don't know what years the first few strikes really took place in, like, our generation, but I'm pretty sure we had teacher strikes. Just be careful shaking the bed, because it's no problem. Like, we had teacher strikes when we had already graduated, but those kids that were young enough to have a couple strikes and then also being in university when there's a strike or university when there's a quarantine, like, I don't know if they've had enough time living in discipline to really know what it's like to have to deal with deadlines and task completion. You know what I mean?
Right.
It'll be weird. I feel bad for the kids graduating this year.
Yeah.
Because if they were looking forward to those experiences, they're not going to get them.
No.
I just wouldn't have cared.
Yeah. I wouldn't have either, but I guess.
We're both introverted people, so it's different.
Yeah.
What's the time at? Oh, okay. So I do have a couple tasks or topics written down. Let me just scroll through. Oh, okay. Speaking of the, like, pandemic or, like, crazy times, do you remember when 2012 was, like, a looming date and people were freaking out about it?
Some people.
Yeah, some. Not as many as this, obviously, but there were people freaking out.
Right. I never really, like, paid attention to that, if I'm being honest.
I didn't get it because it really didn't make sense to me, but my mom was a little worried for a bit, so that at 18 kind of trickled down to me. So I thought, okay, I need to have all of my ducks in a row, and I need to be able to have access to cash and whatnot.
What were people expecting?
I think it was just a mix. Like, some people were expecting, like, natural disasters. Some people were expecting, like some sort of attacks. I don't really know.
What was your mom worried about?
I think she was more worried about people. Like, if, let's say there was a storm or something that night, I think she was afraid people would get a little too reckless. She wasn't necessarily worried about, like, the world ending. She was more worried about what would society be like if anything happened. So that kind of trickled down to me, and I was like, oh, I need access to whoops, sorry guys. I need access to money in case, of an emergency. So I went to the bank, and at the time, there was a girl working there that I had a bit of a crush on. And I was like, she definitely is going to think I'm weird because I just withdrew my entire bank account in $5 bills. Because my logic was, if it's too big of a bill, then it's, like, noticeable that I've got cash. You know what I mean? So I broke it down into $5 bills, and at the time I was 18, so I didn't have a lot of money in there. But, yeah,
That's so weird.
Q curled the bank probably thought I was nuts.
Probably. I remember when you first told me about that.
Yeah.
I had a dream that I had to pay for something huge a couple days later.
Did you really?
I told you about this.
I don't remember.
Yeah, so we had talked about it a few days prior, and then I had a dream that I was buying something really big in cash, and I can't remember what it was, but I opened my wallet, and all I had was fives! And I was like, why so many fives?
That is awesome. Well, I wanted to be prepared.
I think I worried that one day you would do that with our money.
Well, maybe. You know, it doesn't hurt to have some cash under the mattress.
In fives.
In fives, exactly. Because we've been, like, stuck inside, we've also been watching a lot of movies. And I decided to show Jessie one of my favorite childhood movies, Robin Williams' movie, Jack, starring him, Jennifer Lopez, the mom from Superman, like Man of Steel. And what we noticed while watching this movie is that this, like, 10-year-old's dad is really a porn director or, like, porn photographer, and it's just subtly alluded to during the whole movie. Like Jack's mom will call him while he's on set, and he's surrounded by scantily clad women and, like, one random object. I think one was, like, a giant banana or something. It is such a... No, I think there was, like, a dinosaur one, too.
I don't remember.
We were a little inebriated when we watched it, so maybe we imagined the whole thing.
I remember being very surprised.
By the porn thing, right? Yeah. It was just the most subtle thing in this family movie, which is why I probably never noticed that his dad directs porn. Because I grew up watching that movie. Like, fucking not Disney Channel, Family Channel would play that thing.
Yeah, that's surprising.
But mind you, there was another movie we watched recently that we were like, this is too dark, and yet Family Channel would air it.
I can't remember what it was.
You remember it too, right?
Yeah.
Geez, who did it star? We've been watching so many movies lately that everything's kind of blending together.
Yeah, like, actually.
I'm forgetting what we've watched, and for some reason I'm still like, oh, we shouldn't watch a movie too late, because I gotta wake up in the morning. Oh, no, I don't. Also, I'm not gonna wake up, because for some reason, I have the hardest time waking up at a regular time now. Quarantine's just completely fucking me.
Honestly, though, I feel like what's happened is that you were on so little sleep for so freaking long that once your body realized it was able to sleep more than, like, 5 hours a night, it was like, holy shit, this is what I've been waiting for, and now you're, like, catching up on all your sleep.
Yeah, that's true. There was one day on the weekend I slept until noon, didn't I?
Maybe, I don't know.
I honestly don't remember the last time I had a hard time waking up before 9. Now I'm struggling to get out of bed before 10.
I can't remember a time where I didn't struggle to wake up before 9.
Well, my last job was so close to me that I was able to wake up at 8:45 and still get to work on time.
Right.
But now it's like, oh, I don't need to wake up. But yeah, you're right. I was on like 4 or 5 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was just a hard job to, like, settle down after.
Yeah, I know. I had no clue how you were still functioning.
Yeah, I really wasn't. I was doing like 80 to 90 hour weeks some weeks, all on like 4 or 5 hours of sleep, and then not take like a day off in that too.
Yeah.
That was insane. I do feel a lot more well rested.
That's good.
My brain functions a lot better.
That's good.
I had kind of hoped that I would lose a bunch of weight after, because I was eating crazy foods every day at work. That, like, I kind of thought the weight would just fall off, but we eat like shit.
Yeah, we've been eating horribly, and I need to get a handle on that.
It's funny because not only do I not normally eat like this, but I don't normally eat like this often, or eat this often at all, until you started saying, okay, well, if you don't eat now, your acid reflux is going to be bad. But I never really paid attention to it.
But that's why it always ended up being bad.
Yeah, like,
because
the hospital because my mom thought I was having a heart attack bad.
Like, I try to help.
Yeah, no, it's good. I'm not saying it's a negative, but we've been eating like shit 3 times a day.
Yeah, if we're eating better things, then eating more often is good.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I just have no desire to make food.
I don't mind making the food, but I need like an idea, and you're no help with that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also different because it's not my house, and I don't know what you do and don't have.
Fair. Yeah, but some suggestions would be nice. You'll be like, I'm hungry. Let's go up and get something to eat. We get upstairs. What do you feel like? I don't know. What do you want?
Well, I'm not going to lie to you. At home, I generally would... That's how I found food. I wouldn't plan it before I went upstairs. I'd just go look for something.
Interesting.
Because then what happens if you plan it and then you get down there and you're missing something?
And you're all disappointed? Are you kidding? That's why you live like this? You don't want to be disappointed?
Yeah, what if you're like, oh, I'm going to go make myself like a PB&J.
Oh my gosh.
And then you don't have any J.
Oh my gosh. I do kind of understand, though, because I've had those moments where I'm like, when it was a fucking bologna sandwich, we're out of mustard. Because you don't have bologna sandwiches without mustard.
No, that's not right.
Yeah. Do you remember you even got into those for a little bit?
I ate a few, yeah.
Oh, man. That's so good. I would remember how excited I got when I bought bologna for the first time in years.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Oh, man. I grew up on bologna and mustard sandwiches, and then I just haven't had it in so long.
I never ate bologna as a kid, really.
Or if you take bologna and a bit of, I called it slop cheese, the American cheese.
Oh, I hate that stuff.
If you take a piece of bologna and a piece of the slop cheese and roll them together,
that sounds
good
awful.
Shit. No, it's
that
good
doesn't
shit.
even sound remotely good.
No, what do you mean? Like a 5-star restaurant would charge $80 for a plate of that.
That cheese tastes like actual plastic.
Yeah, because it's like 3 ingredients away from being a garbage bag.
Yeah, exactly. And it feels like that's what I'm eating.
I don't know. I don't understand people who make grilled cheeses with that. Because that's not even a lot of cheese.
And it literally, when you heat that cheese up, it doesn't melt like normal cheese. It literally turns into boiling lava.
Yeah. Which is kind of what you want with nachos.
Yes, more so. Because when you bite into a grilled cheese and it just sears your entire mouth and then sprays out the back of the sandwich.
But what's funny is on all of the Kraft Singles commercials, it was kids eating grilled cheeses. Why would you ever eat a grilled cheese with such a sad slice of cheese? It's paper thin.
I was going to say, you'd have to put like at least
4.
7.
Yeah, with how we make grilled cheeses, they're like stacked.
We have to wait so long for the cheese to melt because it's so thick.
Ooh, she's thick. Yeah, it's mostly me though. I suck at cutting thin slices.
Yeah, well, that's not wrong.
No. Well, are you talking about the salami I brought down the other day?
No, I'm just talking in general, but...
The other day, I was a wee bit inebriated, and I was like, I'm gonna go upstairs and get a snack. And I come back down with slices of salami and cut like brick thick because I wanted a lot, but I didn't feel like cutting a lot.
Yeah, it really wasn't slices of salami. You came down with chunks of salami.
I knew I wanted a lot, but I knew I didn't want to cut a lot because I was way too not sober for that moment. So I cut multiple chunks, and that way we only needed 2 each. But that made my acid reflux flare up so bad, I legitimately thought I was having anaphylactic shock.
Yeah, that was not a good turnout.
No, I was legitimately scared. I'm upstairs taking... Oh, I didn't realize my phone was vibrating. I was upstairs taking, freaking... What's it called? Baking soda and water and antihistamines, because I'm like, oh, something's got to work. It's either I'm dying of an allergy or...
You scared me because you told me you were scared, and I was like, well, that's never a good sign.
No.
But...
Especially when it's like when my eye was messed up and when my chest was messed up the whole time, I was making fun of it. Yeah. So for me to get scared, it means I'm legitimately scared.
Yeah, like I don't usually overreact with, medical stuff.
No, you don't react at all. Like, you worry me that you're not worried sometimes. Like, it legitimately stresses me. That's why when you had strep throat, I was so frustrated with you because you're like, I've got a really bad strep throat and, like, upper respiratory infection in the middle of, like, a pre-pandemic, but I'm not concerned.
Well, I don't know. I figure why freak out before there's something to freak out about.
Fair.
because, like, you know, I don't need the anxiety. And
you already have enough of it on your own.
I have enough. And, like, it's just a waste of time to worry before you even know what's going on, because then, like, what are you gonna do about it?
True. All right, guys. I think that's it for today's podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify, please make sure you rate and review us. If you happen to be watching this on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to follow us on all social media. I'm at Michael Comparoni or Mike Comparoni on pretty much everything. Jessie is Jessica. It's Jessie Naylor. Yeah. And at Jarubli on TikTok. Follow her because she doesn't post anything, and that'd be really funny if she got like 1,000 followers without posting anything.
Can you imagine?
Honestly, because you're a girl, you'd probably be better on TikTok than me, because like teenage boys just follow everything.
Yeah, but I don't think I would be posting the stuff that they'd be interested in.
Fair. I would hope not. Anyway, thank you so much for listening. We will see you in the next episode. Peace. Peace. Peace.